Now we know what cell is, we know what a range is, we know what a table is. The most important thing in this whole thing is, if you look at the definition of Excel, it says it's a spreadsheet program. What is a spreadsheet? Spreadsheet is nothing but what you see on the screen, right? This is a spreadsheet. Excel, a single instance or Excel file is made up of multiple spreadsheets. Okay, a spreadsheet has uh, uh, 1 million, 1.4 million rows and 16,000 and odd columns, right? So in the bottom, you will see that if you have opened a new instance of Excel, let's open a new instance of Excel. You will see it is named as sheet 1, right? Is that what you see on the screen? Now what you're working on after opening Excel is called a sheet. Okay. There are different things you can do with a sheet. Let's say if you want to add one more sheet, you see this plus sign here. You just have to click on it and a new sheet will be inserted. If you want to delete, just right click on it and click on delete. You can also insert a worksheet in this manner also. Okay, but an easier way is to click on this plus icon. Okay, so that is add and delete. Let's say you are adding a new sheet. Okay, you're adding a new sheet, and what you're doing is you're storing the data here. Okay, let's say again I'm taking the e-commerce example. There is some order date, there is some customer ID, there is sales. Okay, 1807. Okay, this is some okay. Now here what I'm doing is I'm storing all the data information, and in another sheet I will do the analysis. Okay, so what I can do is I can rename the sheet as data, right? So how to rename the sheet? Just double click on it. It should get highlighted. Rename the sheet as data. Okay, you can also color it, right? Right click on tab color, let's say red, right? Data. And this is where my analysis will be in sheet 4. Double click on it. This is analysis. Okay, tab color is green. I will come to that, how it automatically increases the numbers in data. It's a function that we are going to do in the tomorrow's class. Okay. Okay. Right. These are the different add, delete, rename, color. You can copy or move also. You can create a duplicate. See this, right click, move or copy. It will say if you can create a copy here and move to end. It will create the same duplicate copy of this sheet and it will name it as data 2. Okay. You can hide it also. Let's say for example you don't want your users to see all of this, right? You can just say right click and hide. And what if you want to unhide it? Again right click on any tab, unhide the sheet. Okay, cool. Now you can have multiple sheets in one Excel file, and that multiple sheets of Excel file is called a workbook, right? Okay. Now in Excel 2016, there are different versions of file types in Excel. or different versions of workbooks that can be stored in Excel, right? These are some of the file types, extension types that you can store. You can store a file as .csv. Okay, I can go to File, click on Save As, some folder, like something like this should pop up where you want to save. Here you see Save As type. If you just click on the drop down, you will see that these are the different kinds of file types where you can store your Excel sheet, right? But we are mostly going to be using Excel workbook. Okay, I'll tell you why. Or Excel macro enabled workbook. Macro enabled workbook, if you are writing a code in Excel, which is VBA code, then if you save it as workbook or CSV or any other type, right, your formula or your code will not run. Okay, you have to, if you're writing a code in Excel using VBA, you have to save it using this type, macro enabled workbook. Otherwise, you know, whatever code you've written will not run. CSV. CSV is the most basic form, which I don't suggest. The reason is, let's see what happens. Okay. How many tabs are there in this workbook? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Okay. Now let's try to save it as CSV. And click on save. First, it will throw a warning. Okay. It says the selected file type does not support workbooks that contain multiple sheets, which means if I have multiple sheets in my workbook and if I save it as CSV, which is comma separated values, Excel will only be able to save the first sheet or the active sheet. Let's click on OK. And it still says there is a warning, right? Because you might lose all the information. OK. Now close this. Okay. Okay. Close it. So there are two files, right? One is Microsoft Excel worksheet. One is Microsoft Excel CSV, comma separated values. If I open this, you will see that only that active sheet was saved and it is not even hidden. So all that information I've lost. Okay, so CSV is like the most basic when they had only one spreadsheet back in 2000 when they first launched. But I would suggest don't use CSV to save your files, right? Always use this one. I'll just take you through it. Right? Go to File, click on Save As, Excel Workbook. Okay. Now, how the file will get saved as is it's .xlsx, which means it will get saved as 3 sheets and workbooks, which is my file name .xlsx. This is how it will get stored. If you're using 2003 Excel, it will save as XLS, right? I just told you what macro enabled workbook is, right? If you're writing a VBA code, which is Visual Basic Code, then you have to save your file as macro enabled. The piece of code is called a macro. It's derived by the name macro programming. VBA is a macro programming. Okay. Okay. Then you have XLSB. Now this is used when you want to reduce your file size. Okay. Let's say, for example, the file becomes very heavy, then you can use XLSB, which is similar to XLSX.